Welcome everybody to Weird Futures Comic Podcast. I'm your host, Bob Cheesy, and with me are my other two hosts, The Cube.
How do you do, everyone?
And Matt K.
Hello, hello.
And this week, we have a new format that we're going to be implementing into our weekly podcast, just to give you guys a brief introduction.
Don't get scared. We're still here. We're still doing it the good old-fashioned way, just with a little new thing. We're going to make it a little shorter for you guys.
Like loving mothers and fathers that we are. So we're going to be...
baby birds, we're still going to feed you.
Don't worry, the worms are going to be regurgitated into you guys. So we're going to be following this format where we discuss 5 of DC and 5 of Marvel's top-of-the-line comics, and at the end of the show, we're going to plug in the ones that we did not cover and we didn't feel were not strong enough to include in this weekly podcast. So with that being said, we would like to start with the Flintstones this week. The Flintstones number 5, you guys. How did it go?
Matt, can you just begin to describe the level of nuts this comic was with the whole... There was a literal war with guns and everything.
It was war. It was war. We watched war.
And Fred Flintstone and Barney were in the middle of it. And after finding out Barney is basically impotent.
Listen, Flintstones got a little too deep for me this week, with Barney finding out that... What's his wife's name again?
Is it, it's not Wilma.
That's
Fred's.
Betty.
Yeah,
there we
Wilma
go, Betty.
Fred. Is it Betty? No.
It's Betty. Yeah.
Is it Betty?
It's Betty.
I thought it was Betty, yeah.
Yeah, but basically, she might not be too happy with Barney not having a kid, so he decides to just go off to war with Fred, and basically it's how they fight the tree people with their gunsling shots.
The tree people are basically like Aztecs, I think.
I think they're just tree people.
They're just tree people.
And you know what, guys? I'm happy that it's finally the Aztecs are the villains, because all the Arabs and all those Russians, man, there are too many Arab and Russian villains.
It's so weird because they use dinosaurs to kill them. It's nuts. They run them over and everything, and it's like you see death.
Yeah, and we also find out where... yeah, go ahead.
Well, at the end of the comic, this isn't something that's actually that surprising. They actually do mention it before once that... Barney's son is adopted, Bam Bam, and even though he has blonde hair like Barney, he's not actually his kid. He's actually found after Barney goes into the war. He finds the kid out in the middle of the forest from the tree people. It's nuts.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty brutal war too. You see Fred stabbing someone.
Yeah, and it's like they have the guns with bayonets, but they're rocks.
I thought it was a joke. I thought it was gonna be a joke at first. Honestly, I thought it was just gonna be a joke of a war, but it was. It was like he was serving in Nam or something.
Now let me ask you guys this: a lot of people have been complaining, and I mean, you get two sides of the coin. Some people are saying that the Flintstones, this is not the Flintstones 50s cartoon that we love. This is too deep. Yeah. This is too much. And then you have the other side of the coin. This is exploring the Flintstones in a light that we never had before. So, what are you guys' take on this?
I personally like it because it's set for a mature audience. I mean, there's easily the kids Flintstones, but this is a comic book, and comic books are generally made for more mature readers.
Let's face it, comic books are now kind of shifting. There are people that get their kids into them, and there are still people in them, but they now have to cover a more wide audience, and that usually covers a more of an adult capacity.
And they're doing a good job with it too.
Yeah,
they're not
so
failing
nuts how
on it
they're
either.
trying to explore it in a whole different light, because a lot of kids don't really know what the Flintstones are anymore. Mm-hmm. I mean, Boomerang shows it, but come on.
I think I would have to agree with you guys there. The Flintstones is a series that has long passed. It's no longer relevant. And now they're using a good series and bringing it to justice, quite frankly, with their writing and their styles. And they're implementing it to a modern day, like you guys said, a mature audience, an audience who would pay attention to the show. Whereas the people who usually don't read comics and watch TV nowadays don't really remember the Flintstones.
Yeah, it's nuts. It really is.
So I think so well done for the Flintstones this week. So
keeping it brief. We'd like to give more. We'd love to keep going, but it's all about making the list now.
Let's do DC because we're already on it with Flintstones.
Got it.
We're already covering the tracks there.
Okay, guys. So the DC list this week we have Superman 10, Green Lanterns, Superman and Batman.
Yeah. Batman and Superman, and that's pretty much it.
Start off.
Let's start off with Superman.
Superman.
I think it was. I'm not sure how I like this issue because I think the art was really good. I like how the intensity of the art style of everybody fighting in this comic, but the reasons for them fighting is Damien's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Damien is he's not a nice person.
No, he's not.
Okay, you know what? Well, we're on the topic of assholes. I thought Superman was being kind of an asshole in this
He
one.
was like, he was trying to body Batman, and Batman was like, "Hey, Damien's a little
Yeah.
shit. I'm sorry." Like,
Yeah.
And you're just like that. He's a Kryptonian, man. He could have killed somebody. He has to calm the fuck down. Like,
What my take on Damian Wayne is that he is a shit, and here's why he's a shit. He claims his unwavering loyalty to his father, right? To Bruce Wayne, and he does all this for him, and he claims that he kidnapped John, the son of Superman, for his sake, and he's doing all this.
Yeah, because he's going nuts. He's claiming John can't control his
right,
powers.
and he claims that he's doing this for his father. Yet he disobeys his father and goes against his very willing wishes, and is so thick-headed and just doesn't listen to his father. You can't do that. You can't do that.
You know what? Why don't we let's give a quick synopsis just so they know what we're talking about.
Yeah. So basically, Damian Wayne kidnaps John, Superman's son, and Batman comes in finding this happening. He's like, "You better get rid of the fucking kid, because guess who's coming?" And Superman bursts through the entire wall of the Batcave, and pretty much is gonna body Batman, even though Batman's trying to give his kid back.
But basically, what ends up happening in the end is they end up coming to blows, Damian and John, even after their fathers make up.
And then at the end of it, you see them standing over them.
And Damien's the one who's instigating the fighting too.
Yeah.
Like John's a good kid. He's the son of Superman.
I was ready for John to give up. He just gave him a mean gut punch.
Yeah,
Just
that was nasty.
Damian deserved that. Damian deserved that, man. It's been some time. But he also had a kryptonite batarang in his hand.
Right. That's a new little bit that Batman, I guess, has been hiding.
No more kryptonite ring. I guess it's a batarang. I kind of like the ring. Yeah. Ring was better.
No, I like the kryptonite rain. Remember that? Remember how that was the thing?
Or the kryptonite
rain. That was
or guys, the kryptonite smoke. Come on. Right?
Wasn't it like a spear at one point?
No, we don't.
We don't talk about such things.
Shush. We're moving on. So Batman. We're moving on to Batman.
Batman was a very strong issue to me, guys.
So throw it up first. Tell us what it was about.
Well, it was... Yeah, so Batman goes to see Bane. Yeah. Because Batman wants to go apprehend Psycho Pirate. And he knows that Bane is one of the gateways to get to Psycho Pirate. And he ends up confronting Bane and asking him. And turns out, Bane, funny enough, breaks his back again. And by the way, Bane is off the Titan Venom. So, he's like a recovering addict, if you will.
But, the thing is, he's been using Psycho Pirate's powers to get him off basically get him off the Titan. He basically used Psycho Pirate's powers like a
psychotherapy.
Like a psychotherapy to, detox his body of all Titan and let him maintain his visage.
Right. So, throughout the comic, it's Bane and Batman butting heads for Batman to try to get to Psycho Pirate, and which in the end, Batman gets his back broken by Bane, and then gets thrown in this lock gate sewer, which we'll expand into, and then at the end, Batman comes out, and then he's like, "This is all part of my plan," and that was the issue.
Yeah, that was something else. I was a little shocked at that.
Really?
And it's funny too
because
because
your back broken was part of your plan. Although I do like the way he fixed his back. That was
that was awesome.
That was rad.
That was fucking
to the sky. You know what I didn't like is I didn't like Batman. The thing he kept saying over and over in the comic. I have it right here. Bane, I've come for Psycho Pirate. I need him to save someone who needs to be saved. Turn him over. I go away. Refuse to turn him over, and I will break your damn back.
Yeah.
He said that so many times in the comic. And then he ends up getting his back broken. And I was just like, really? What?
They're trying to make a point by it, I guess, that he's going to be trying really hard to get to Bane.
And he will break his back.
I expect him to do some crazy batarang, whip.
No, he went in kind of fighting. He fought 100 soldiers. He lost. He went to Bane, fought him, lost, got thrown in jail, got out. And then apparently that was all part of his plan.
Yeah. That was part of the plan. But I think that was a pretty cheap move from this issue. But like you guys said, so Bane throws Batman in this like cellar, this like gated sewer, if you will, that Bane endured for like 20-something years.
For like the entirety of his like life, I guess.
Pretty much, like what forged Bane to have the mentality he had. He threw Batman in it, and it was. And there was like I think the highlight of this scene or of this comic,
which isn't this changing his backstory again? Just by the way,
No, he was always in prison. I think they're just adding on to it with this because this is kind of just an addition to his backstory that he was in this like cellar, this water cellar for 17 years, and he managed to get out of it alive. Like that was his thing.
Right.
And then he became a Mexican wrestler, and then he became a villain.
What was cool was, like we were talking about, was Batman. So Bane knees Batman in a certain point of his spine, and then Batman does like his own self surgery almost, where like he gets in a position where he grabs onto the wall and just realigns his back with this like nasty crack that happens, and that was great.
I can't even imagine how to position yourself like that. Like I can.
And what's even more unbelievable is he does it like on a vertical wall.
Yeah,
right. While water is like constantly sinking and rising.
He's just like punch, climb, snap, and it's like he literally snaps it back into place.
I can't even do that like on the floor, you know. That's crazy.
I freak out when I get a splinter, you guys. Come on.
I just die in there.
It's over.
Yeah.
Just cry myself to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. So then, in the end, Batman escapes. He regroups with Selina Kyle, and then he's all like, "All right, time for phase 2."
Let's cover Selina Kyle though one more time, just for you guys who missed it last time. Convicted murder, 237 kills.
You're right, and they go over it. They go over it in this comic. She killed like 237 terrorists that bombed her orphanage. That was part of the comic. They finally reveal
for good, I guess.
And what did they reward her with, guys? Imprisonment.
Right next to Legion of Superheroes. Shh. Moving on. Let's go.
Alright, you guys. So, next up on the list, we have... Are we going to do Green Lanterns or no?
Yeah, I think Green Lanterns is going
to be... Okay, we'll go over Green Lanterns pretty briefly.
Yeah, so for those of you who haven't read the new Green Lanterns, it's all about a man who's tried so hard to get his own ring.
And what is his name, Matt?
Oh man, you put me on the spot. I totally forgot. My bad. I didn't know. Yeah, I don't remember at all.
Okay, Q.
If I remember correctly, it's Eric. No.
Yeah, damn it, I mean, you were right on the spot.
Yep, he did.
Do you know the name? Do you know the name, Bob Cheesy?
I don't. That's what I was asking you.
Oh my god, that's terrible. All right, well, we know who he is. He's a guy. He's a cuck that basically wants the Phantom Ring so he can become a lantern. That's basically what he is. We know that.
Yeah. So the main two
are Simon and Jessica.
Yeah, and then are teaming up with the Guardian.
Yeah, are teaming up with the Guardian to save some kid's life because there's a distraction fire set by the guy hunting the Phantom Ring.
We'll call him the nameless cuck for it.
Because he has truly been cucked. Because Will cucked him. Pure Will, did that.
And when you get cucked by Will, guys, you get cucked for life.
Yeah. So he chases the Phantom Ring. He uses that fire as a distraction because he sets it. And then he goes and gets the ring. And he gets cool armor like when Hal Jordan was Parallax. He's got the cool shoulder blades and the cape.
The thing about our nameless cook here, it was interesting because Simon, very briefly in the beginning, had access. He had the power ring. He wielded the Phantom Ring, excuse me. And he had no control over it. He was switching to all the different colors of the spectrum and this and that. But as soon as our nameless cuck here gets the ring, he masters
I got it. Frank. His name was Frank.
There
we go.
Okay, Frank.
My bad, Eric.
Okay, the Frank Cook. Okay, he right away he wields it with ease. He was prepared for this.
Yeah,
he trained for a good chunk of his life to dedicate himself to be a Green Lantern, and because of his training and he got access to this power ring, now he's well off and he has absolute mastery of this. So pretty cool. And we even see him using for example, fear. You know.
Yeah, I cannot wait for greed. Always forget what his name.
Yeah.
Larfleeze.
Avarice, right?
Yeah, avarice.
Yeah.
I can't wait for him to see that somebody else is using an orange ring.
Yeah.
That's
a good plot. I didn't even think about that one. Yeah. I just thought the beginning was a little slow.
Like they had to set him up for a whole comic, but I could have easily gone that whole story and yeah, it's just like, oh, he's a guy tried real hard. Green Lantern's cucked him. Here we are.
Yeah, they could have started the fight a bit, but whatever.
That's okay. I'm sure we're gonna get some wacky shit from him.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like how they portrayed him as to be like this insane madman when really like he wanted to be a hero, you know?
Yeah.
And they made him into a maniac almost.
Yeah, at the end, I'm looking at this last panel right now. He's like flying off, big old grin on his face, and he's carrying the Guardian by his hair, like just dragging him along like a corpse.
I have the right here. I have his it's his motto. I guess, for the Phantom Line.
Oh yeah, that's right. New motto.
Yeah,
that's right.
I forget what it's. In desperate day and hopeless night, the Phantom Ring is our last light. We yearn for power, strength, and might. I seize the ring that is my right. I am the Phantom Lantern. It's like a mixture of almost all of them. I think that's supposed to be the joke, that it's supposed to be like a mixture of some of them.
You know what's the biggest joke of them all? Is
what?
Being cucked. Alright guys,
Yeah.
moving on. Moving on.
Get wrecked.
Okay, so Midnighter and Apollo, I think the last in our DC list.
Yeah.
So, Q, give us a brief synopsis, my friend.
Alright. So, Midnighter and Apollo, if you guys haven't been reading, has been about two gay boys. And they love each other very much, and they fight crime together. And what ends up happening is Apollo gets hurt very badly and dies. And we find out in this comic, he goes to hell.
And then in the end, Midnighter, he's going to go to hell.
He's going to go to hell too.
to get him back.
And he says a clever quote that says,
many people want
me to go to hell, so I'm going to go to hell for them. Yes, pleasing many people. Haha, so funny.
What a jokester. What a funny guy. What a funny guy.
Remember that that cool edgy haircut he has and all those weird piercings. So good.
You know, guys, like I don't know if you're thinking the same thing as I am, but do you think that Midnighter and Apollo is basically a fan service to all the Batman and Superman gay fantasies and fan fictions that people have of them?
That might be right.
That's pretty much what it is.
I never thought about that, but you might be onto something there. Yeah.
That's pretty damn accurate.
I like to call this one a Cube conspiracy.
Alright, well, moving on. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Jesus Christ.
Alright. So moving on to Marvel.
So to good old Marvel, you guys.
Alright.
You want to start with the champions?
Alright, Matt. You want to line us up on the champions?
Well, Champions is actually a fairly simple issue this week. We get champions on a nice little camping trip, asking truth or dare questions for each other, power questions, love questions, stupid questions.
They always do the dumb joke where it's like, hey, I'm Spider-Man. Hey, Spider-Man.
Yeah, basically, and then Cyclops comes to crash the party thinking like, hey, champions are so woke, I'm going to go ahead and join you guys. And because he's never seen a Hulk before, he freaks out and he shoots Amadeus Cho. They end the fight. And in the end, we get the big plot spoiler that the Hulk, a 21-year-old or older, could be possibly, is kissing Vision's daughter, Viv. So
in the Hulk form. In the Hulk form. That's what bothers me.
Form.
And then in the end, he instead of he says it's slobbering time, mwah, and just plants one on her.
It's not the thing.
Yeah, he could like eat her face. He could eat her face, honestly.
But it's funny because I think it was the first Champions, right? When they go to Viv's door, ultimately the Vision's door,
and Joe is the one to talk.
And then the Vision does not look pleased, guys. Yeah. He is not. He happy.
Probably knows.
He's not having it. So and
he probably knows that he's letting his daughter get away with it.
He was right.
Wait. Let's talk about how Nova gets cucked. He almost kisses Viv in this issue too, and he basically misses his chance, and Amadeus just takes over from there. He lost his chance,
dude,
and he was
I'm
watching
telling
too.
You, it's like after seeing that, it's just I know that Sam and Cyclops are gonna get cucked and be cuck buddies.
Yeah, but like we said, real simple issue, nothing too complicated there, honestly. Just team building, fun stuff for us as readers. Anyway, let's continue on. What's next? You guys want to do Moon Knight?
Sure, let's go with Moon Knight. So we see, what, Matt? Give us another plot synopsis of this week's Moon Knight, please.
Well, it looks like all these stores are finally coming together. We had that space store where Moon Knight's fighting wolves on space. We have the story with Stephen Grant being the Moon Knight movie director. And the third one, which I can't remember, I think it was the actual movie itself. We're finally getting all those plots to come together, and Mark Spector's like, hey, we need to talk. Because these are all different aspects of his personalities. So I'm pretty hyped for the next issue. We're going to find out what's really going on here. Like, is this guy just crazy as hell, or is he getting like played?
I think they're all like seeing like a different part of his life that he's like he's like transmitting into a fucking personality.
You know what it is? I think maybe like here's a cute conspiracy, guys. So he probably is summoning all his personalities, all his characters, all his mind to form into one to tackle on one overall big issue.
Yeah,
that's just an idea, guys. But perhaps he's summoning upon all his mental ability, mental strength to fight as one for some overlying issue that's happening in, I guess, the real
maybe what's
universe.
Maybe what's happening in the real universe. Another conspiracy throwing it out there, just like to match yours. It's pretty close, basically. But maybe there's like a problem going on the outside that he needs to be multiple people, or else they'll basically know something, or they'll figure something out. So maybe he's like, all right, if I'm not like these 5 guys, then they're gonna like figure me out, and I'm fucked. So it's like either keep them separate or die.
I just think Khonshu's fucking with him. Like, hey, you're not my champion anymore. That was the only thing keeping you together. You're now screwed. Yeah, I'm just gonna mess with you now. You're now split.
Right. So it was interesting to finally see the convergence of all his personalities, because finally we're getting somewhere. Next on the list, we have the Avengers, the first issue.
Alright,
the Avengers basically comes to fight. They come together, like under the direction of Sam Wilson and Peter Parker as one of the players of orchestrating this new Avengers group. And some robot people. Oh, Kang the Conqueror comes in along with another dude who are basically fighting.
Okay,
for something.
That was a shit synopsis, guy.
Okay, look,
that was a shit synopsis.
Okay? Look, Kang the Conqueror and another version of Kang the Conqueror show up to fight the Avengers, and because they're fighting Vision because they want to find something that Vision has hidden from them. Okay, but Vision has offloaded his memory from his body, so they cannot find it.
Guys, close enough.
So Kang the Conqueror's beside what they end up doing is fighting the Avengers, just 2 versions of him, but then they end up having to retreat. But what they end up doing is going through the time stream and try to remove every single one of the Avengers at primal points in their life.
Yeah, I'm liking the introduction of Peter into the Avengers as kind of like the Avengers benefactor.
He's trying so hard to be. He's trying so hard to be nice to them. Yeah. He's trying so hard to like offer things to them, and they're all like, "I hate fucking Peter Parker. He's an asshole. Yeah. I hate Spider-Man. He's an asshole."
He's never really done anything that wrong. I mean, come on. But it kind of makes me feel like Spider-Man's a big player in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, but this also tells us again that they don't know what his identity is.
Which is kind of bullshit after all this time.
Yeah. Like he's revealed it so many times, and he's always accidentally revealed it so many times.
But you know what? I'm happy to see that Spider-Man is finally in a big, if you will, comic line, because Marvel's been forcing Miles so hard, and I was worried. I was actually really worried they're going to kill him off.
He's now. Don't worry. He's going
to he's woke now. He's woke.
He's waking up with Kamala. He's going to be sleeping with Kamala soon enough. Just give it time.
I hope not. I hope he just dies in a corner by himself, lonely, like I will. But Peter Parker is finally being he's being shoehorned into a big Marvel comic line, which is telling us, he's here to stay. So happy about that.
Yeah, where do you guys think this Kang War is going to go? I mean, right off the bat, we know from the last issue of Avengers, All New Avengers, that Vision stole Kang as a child and was going to kill him. So that's why this whole war has started. Now the Avengers are basically dead. So what do you guys think is going to happen next?
I do like the the art for them disappearing, because it looks like they just turn into water. Just boom.
In the direction of King, I honestly wouldn't be able. I cannot give you a good prediction.
I think it's pretty awesome that he's using like multiple versions of himself from like different timelines, because somehow he's managed to like maintain it without them collapsing or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice little touch, so I'm hoping he brings like 30 versions of himself. All of them like kind of look like him in some way.
Mm-hmm. Like we have the Crimson Chins.
Yeah, Crimson Chins, exactly. No.
Yeah.
Alright, moving on.
Okay, so next on the list for Marvel, Death of X, guys.
Death of X.
Death of X.
Alright, well, Death of X, boys. Let's get into it. So, basically, Cyclops, we're starting to see the beginning steps of his master plan, first by begging Magneto to join him in his cause against the Inhumans.
Whoa. Hold up. There was no begging here. And one, it wasn't even Cyclops, it was Emma Frost.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, alright? I'm doing the synopsis for this.
Go for it then. Fuck you.
Fuck you. Basically, they get Magneto to help, and they get this cool other mutant named Alchemy, who can, if you can't figure it out, can change the properties of objects using his mutant power, which involves alchemy. So basically, they're planning on changing the Terrigen Mist to stop it from harming humans. My prediction, they're going to change it so it can harm humans. And that is what makes Cyclops such a big villain. That's why everybody's shitting on him so hard.
I think he's going to change it to do humans again. I think he's going to go. He's going to say, "Fuck it, let's go humans. Let's kill all of them."
Mutants forever. Yeah, he could. You never know.
Yeah, if he decided to kill humans, would the Inhumans have a reason to fight? If it didn't kill Inhumans, would the humans be like, "Well, the Cloud doesn't kill us anymore. Like, it doesn't kill you guys, and it doesn't kill us.
So why would we care?
So should we just let the Cloud kill everyone and let Inhumans and mutants take over the Earth?"
You know, and like what we said before in the previous issues of the Death of X, and like I said even before in our previous podcasts, the Inhumans have been getting the shit treatment. Everybody's been shitting on them.
The humans.
Yeah, and then Iron Man is single-handedly whooping their asses. You have Cyclops leading a brigade against them, and not only that, but he's also publicly shaming, and I mean publicly, like worldwide publicly, shaming the Inhumans.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
So, I guess my final question about Death of X is, where's Black Bolt? What's he gonna do?
Yeah, well, I mean, come on, dude. Black Bolt's the coolest.
Just a little gay, and then everything, and then literally
the universe ceases to exist.
Yeah. He just got to whisper one word.
But, you know, Inhumans have been getting it back. But you know what? It wants me to spawn this conversation with you guys. Now, the creation of the Inhumans and the X-Men have made this implications in the Marvel series where it's humans against the mutants. It's mutants against the Inhumans. Yeah. It's humans against the Inhumans.
Yeah.
So, you know,
everybody make it like a trifecta.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, I feel that X-Men should be a little bit more sympathetic for the Inhumans because they share almost the same thing. Like, I know a lot of people like to write off the Inhumans as the generic mutants and blah, 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 blah. But all the more that the X-Men should be more sympathetic and more likely to help the Inhumans rather than fight them.
Basically, I agree with what you're saying. I think it should go both ways. The Inhumans and the X-Men should kind of be more compassionate toward each other, being that they're both, you know, subspecies of like a human, kind of.
Yeah.
And that they're getting shit treated on like all the time.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish they worked together. You know, maybe formed their own kind of like unity, but. Obviously, we know that's not going to happen.
And that's what it should be. Instead of, you know, and I know we were talking about this earlier this week, we're seeing a lot of hero versus hero. It's a reoccurring theme in comics.
I mean, like, and we do have some here and there, like Avengers now has just opened up with a new villain. But the thing is, now, recently, Avengers were just fighting Iron Man, or Avengers were just, like, you know, they were just helping on a Civil War too.
Yeah, so. and this should be an opportunity. I know, like, now, and people might want to say, I want to call you out on this, and that, because Storm is helping the Inhumans and she's being the ambassador. True. Very true. But I don't want to see more hero versus hero for the time being, guys. I want to see X-Men and Inhumans fighting alongside. I want to see Avengers and X-Men.
And that's the thing, and that's what they just try to do with the Terrigen Mist thing. But the thing is, that wasn't against a villain. That was technically still against the Inhumans in a weird way.
Right.
That was against, like, the act of God.
Yeah, and it's not even their fault, you know? So I want to see a more heroic collaboration going on rather than heroic fighting. But that's just my 2 cents, guys.
So let's do Unworthy Thor.
Unworthy Thor. Excellent.
So I think so. I've already covered this last one. So if you guys want to cover this one, this is a good one. This is a good one to cover. I like this one.
Yeah. Bob, you want to do the synopsis for this one?
Yeah. So we see Thor losing.
Could you? I got this one.
Please.
All right.
I'm gonna
In this
bask in my
Unworthy
shame.
Thor, we see Thor fighting for another hammer after finding out there is another hammer out there, not unlike the original Mjolnir, that he can wield it, or he feels at least that he has the chance to wield it and give him the power he once had. So we see a lot of interesting things happen in this comic. We see interactions with old characters, and we see him fighting desperately through basically trolls in an arena, more or less. Or not an arena.
I thought it was like a bar or something.
It was like a prison, I guess, or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And guess who comes in the end?
Guess who comes? The Beta Ray.
Beta Ray.
Beta Ray bro. What he does at the end is amazing.
Yeah.
It just shows he is the ultimate hero.
He is.
Because he's so willing. It's like I was telling you guys before. Everybody likes him because he's good because there needs to be good. He's good because not because he wants to be or because it's like a passion or like he needs it for something. He's just like good is something that just exists, so why not make it that way?
For those of you that are curious about what we're talking about, basically at the end is Beta Ray Bill finds the Unworthy Thor and says to him, "You know what, brother? Your hammer's missing. Take mine instead." That, my God, Beta Ray, you sir are something else, ultimate bro. And you know what? Like I was talking about this with Cube earlier this week, but I know Thor's gonna be a little shit. And he's like, "Hey, fuck yeah, thanks for the hammer, bitch, and take it."
And the thing is, he's not gonna align with Unworthy or with Beta Ray's like worthiness, because like Beta Ray's worthiness is because he's so willing to sacrifice and all that. And the Unworthy Thor's gonna be like, yeah, I'll take it. And he's like, just drop out of his hands, start falling through space
forever. But you know, I get what they're trying to do with Thor. They're kind of making him the jerk that people are gonna love to hate, kind of like a Guy Gardner character right now, because he's drunk. You know, he doesn't have his hammer. He's pissed at the world, and
I like his metal arm. It's a nice touch.
Yeah, it is. Cool.
Yeah, it's neat. You can tell they're gonna kind of make it a redemption story. How he's gonna finally come back to being a hero.
Yeah, I feel like he's almost becoming like Metal Gear. I'm seeing like slowly. He's gonna get an eye patch soon. It's all coming to him.
Yeah. And then they're gonna play the Snake Eater theme, guys.
Yeah.
And
that'd be the ultimate ending. All right, moving on.
Okay. Wait, real quick. I like the scene where he throws his axe as if it was Mjolnir, and then he's like, just go fetch me my axe, you goat, kind of thing. So that was great.
Yeah, but I just want to throw in a little quick before we end. Actually, I want to throw in a little quick Q conspiracy on the last.
Here we go, Q conspiracy, guys.
I'm gonna say something. I think the second hammer is bullshit.
Oh.
I think I think he's gonna keep fighting for it every day. He's gonna fight for that second hammer, and then finally one day he's about to get to reach it, and then somebody else is just gonna pick it up like it's nothing and just hit him over the head with it. And he's gonna be like, "How can you pick it up?" And it's like, "Yeah, it's just a fucking hammer. I found it."
A clone of Jane Foster picks it up.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. You guys know whose hammer that is, though, right? Just making sure. You guys know whose hammer that is, right?
I actually don't. Can you tell me? Can you?
That is Ultimate Thor's from the Ultimate Universe. I guess it slipped through a crack in the reality, and that's how it got here.
Oh no! So if he finds it and he manages to pick it up, if he is worthy.
Now, I don't know if you guys ever read any of the Ultimates or any of the Ultimate Thor series, but if you guys did, you know that hammer is actually a lot stronger than the Mjolnir on the current Mjolnir.
Yeah, the current Mjolnir, because it's like it's forced of many.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you could do mass teleportation with it. It's like the lightning is way harder. It's gonna be cool. I kind of want to see what they do with it. I hope they don't just like, I kind of hope it isn't just a hammer. Like, hey, this is just a fucking piece of metal.
Yeah.
I hope it actually has some power. I mean, whether or not Thor wields it doesn't matter to me, but still.
Yeah, it's gonna totally be someone else. He's gonna get it. It's gonna be someone else. He's gonna get like a replica, a copy.
Yeah, plastic gift shop.
Yeah, but the biggest takeaway from this issue, guys. Billy Ray Bro, guys.
Billy Ray Bro.
Billy Ray Bro.
Billy Ray Cyrus. Billy Ray Cyrus.
Billy Ray Bro. Cyrus. Beta. Boy.
Disney. That's so Raven.
Disney. Hey.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
Next, Foolkiller, guys.
All
Foolkiller, the first issue.
How this comic is on a Matt. I know you really enjoyed this comic.
I did too.
You guys,
I
we all
really-
did.
yeah,
We all really agreed this was like our number one.
I loved it. honestly. I technically didn't know who Foolkiller was until they kind of gave him his little backstory.
Yeah,
and
neither
I
did
saw
I.
his
Same
old,
here. Same here.
I saw his old costume, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is the same guy."
Right.
But basically, it's about a former mercenary who kind of becomes a psychiatrist, basically,
and
and
Shield
helps out
made
troubled youth.
Shield
Yeah.
makes him the
Yeah,
psychiatrist. by the
Shield
way.
hires him as the psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And throughout the entire comic, he seems really happy with his new life. He's helping this young kid. He has a girlfriend. He has a good job. He has an apartment, and it just seems like things are going really well. And at the end, it's just this crazy scene where this kid he's been helping accidentally kills like some of his friends, and he's like, "Oh man, it's okay. You're gonna be okay." And then he snaps the kid's neck, and you can tell that something is definitely not right with this guy.
Yeah.
And the way it was handled was perfect. It was just very well done. It was funny, but at the same time, there was a sense of like, "Oh crap, what the heck? What's going on?"
Yeah, it's because throughout the whole comic we're like exploring like the Nazi dude's like problems, but Foolkiller's releasing his like inner insecurities,
His own
Yeah.
problems.
Like,
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, I got these problems with myself," and he's like staring at it like he's like trying to hypnotize the kid with like a mini cosmic cube.
I love that. I love that beginning where he's just talking about his man bag. Basically, he gets a man purse, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you can carry tons of things." And I was like, that's kind of weird that they're mentioning this. This is kind of an odd part of the story. And at the end, we find out this whole time he's been carrying his costume in there, which he's not supposed to be doing. And I love how he's not wearing pants at the end too. That made me laugh. That was funny. But great issue, great start. This is one of Marvel's new number ones, and I'm hoping, unlike the other ones that are probably going to get canceled, I hope this one sticks around.
Yeah.
It's great premise, great start.
Well, I think that's
That wraps it up.
I think
for
that
this
wrap
week.
it up. That's our list for this week, guys.
I do have The Walking Dead from Image, real quick, if you want to go over it, Matt.
Let's save that for a separate one. We could do a whole like segment on Walking Dead by ourselves.
Beautiful.
But why don't we go over that list of comics we didn't review, just so our listeners can go ahead and check those comics out.
Yep.
Just in case they're curious.
Yeah, so we have the ones that we did not read from Marvel's side. We have Doctor Strange and the Punisher, Magic Bullets. This is the first issue in the series. So go check that out. We have Death of Hawkman from DC. We also have Spider-Man 2099, number 17 from Marvel. We also have Nightwing number 8 from DC. We have Justice League number 8. And we also have Cyborg number 4. That you guys would want to go check out. That we didn't feel make the cut for Worthy Comics of talking about this week.
Exactly. And like we've talked about before, if you guys want to, just post in the comments below. We'll go ahead and review them. But until then, we're just going to stick to our favorites for now on.
Yeah,
So just let us know.
for time's sake and, to cut to the chase and, hopefully this format will work out better. And let us know what you guys think.
All right, until then, we'll see you guys next week. I'm Matt K.
I'm the Q.
And this is Bob Cheesy. I love you.